Welcome to EduRev's daily current affairs discussion. Today's news is incredibly important for UPSC aspirants because each story connects directly with GS2, GS3, and governance environment linkages and can appear in prelims, mains, essays, and even ethics. Let's dive in and understand not just what happened, but why it matters for UPSC. Crop residue burning, turning India into a global methane hotspot. UN report. This headline is a classic UPSC GS3 environment plus climate change topic. It helps you decode India's methane profile, methane as a greenhouse gas, global climate frameworks, GMP, Mars, IMEO, agriculture climate health linkages, international reports, COP30, UN emissions report. Why UPSC cares? Methane reduction connects to Paris Agreement, AIM-4C, climate adaptation, air pollution, agriculture reforms, food security, stubble burning, all UPSC favorites. Detailed breakdown. India is now the third largest methane emitter globally, after China and USA. Stubble burning significantly contributes to methane plus PM 2.5 pollution. UNEP highlights that G20 nations account for 65% of global methane emissions. Methane has a GWP of 84, 20-year period. Extremely potent. Waste-burning methane increased 64% from 1995 to 2020. India has not joined the Global Methane Pledge, GMP. Satellite systems like Mars and transparency tools like IMEO help track emissions. This news is perfect for GS3 environment, agriculture, pollution, GS2 policies, essay on climate change, prelims on greenhouse gases and emissions reports. Saral Sims, simplified steel import registration. This is important for UPSC GS3 economy, trade policy, logistics, small industries, and prelims questions on import monitoring systems. Why UPSC cares? It teaches import-export regulation, trade facilitation reforms, ease of doing business, SEZ-EOU mechanisms, role of ministries in industrial policy. Key learnings. Saral Sims. New simplified system under SIMS, Steel Import Monitoring System. Effective November 21st, 2025. Allows single annual declaration instead of shipment-wise SIMS numbers. Small importers up to 10 tons per consignment, 500 tons annually. SEZs, EOUs get simplified import processes. Covers chapters 72, 73 and 86 of ITC HS code. This is relevant for GS3, Indian economy, manufacturing, exports policy and infrastructure. India's proposed CAFE 3 norms, auto industry split. A classic UPSC favorite combining environment plus economy plus technology plus regulatory policy. Why UPSC cares? CAFE norms reflect emission control, energy efficiency policies, transport sector pollution, EV/hybrid transition, industry state regulation conflict. What you must remember. CAFE 3 norms apply FY 28 to 32. Weight-based formula introduced. 0.002 times open parenthesis W minus 1170 close parenthesis plus C. Light cars 740 kilograms must improve efficiency by 48%. SUVs 2500 kilograms only 25%, causing industry opposition. Small car manufacturers fear price hikes and reduced demand. Tata Motors and some firms say norms are achievable. This helps with GS3 environment, pollution control, industrial policy. Essay, Sustainable Mobility. India's Fisheries and Aquaculture. Promising Growth. This directly helps your topics on blue economy, livelihood, nutrition, marine resources, MSP reforms, coastal development. Why UPSC cares? Fisheries equals second largest aquaculture producer globally. India produces 17.54 million tons 2022 to 23. Key for rural livelihood, export revenue, nutrition, coastal development. Important UPSC insights. Massive growth since the 1980s. FAO support under GEF projects. Challenges. Climate change, overfishing, habitat loss, market barriers. Expect questions in GS3, food security, blue economy, agriculture reforms. Essay, Prelims on FAO. Supreme Court clarifies governor's powers on bills. One of the most important polity topics of 2025. Why UPSC cares? This directly touches Articles 200, 201, 361, federalism, separation of powers, judicial review. Key clarifications. Governors cannot indefinitely withhold assent, but SC cannot impose deadlines on governors/president. Three options under Article 200: grant assent, reserve for president, return for reconsideration. Courts can review prolonged inaction, not the merits of a decision. Court rejected concepts like deemed assent via judicial creation. This is a hot topic for GS2, Polity, Mains, Federalism, Essay, Center-State Relations, Prelims, Articles 200/201. High pendency and staffing gaps in juvenile justice boards, JJBs. This is a high probability topic for UPSC because it directly connects with the Juvenile Justice Act, child protection mechanisms, institutional challenges in India's justice delivery system, vulnerable sections, GS2. Why news? The India Justice Report, IJR, has revealed that over 55% of cases in JJBs were pending as of October 2023, a sign of deeper structural issues. Why does this matter for UPSC? UPSC repeatedly asks questions on efficiency of justice institutions. Pendency highlights gaps between law on paper versus law in practice. Reforms suggested here are important for GS2 answers on social justice, child rights, legal aid, institutional capacity. Key points exam ready. Less than half of 100,904 total cases have been disposed. Odisha's pendency is 83%, Karnataka's 35%. 24% JJBs not fully constituted. 30% lack legal aid clinics. Poor data systems. Only 36% RTIs answered completely. 75% of apprehended juveniles fall in the 16 to 18 age group. CPCB, Delhi, Haryana to jointly monitor Yamuna pollution. Why in news? After drain overflows worsened Yamuna pollution, NMCG informed NGT about a new plan. CPCB, DPCC and HSPCB will conduct quarterly monitoring. Why this matters for UPSC? Yamuna cleaning is a recurrent UPSC theme. Prelims questions often revolve around pollution boards, river conservation missions, powers of NGT. Mains, environmental governance, interstate coordination, river rejuvenation. Key concepts to remember. NMCG, under Ministry of Jal Shakti, responsible for Ganga Basin management. NGT, fast disposal within 6 months, environmental jurisdiction. CPCB, created under Water Act 1974, statutory body. Why this is important for GS3? Answer shows example of cooperative federalism in environmental management which UPSC loves. Search for declared foreigners by Assam's Foreigners Tribunal. Wine News. Assam authorities are searching for 5 individuals declared foreigners after failing to appear before the tribunal. Why important for UPSC? Topics of citizenship, illegal migration, Foreigners Act, NRC, and border management are UPSC favorites. Important facts. FTs are quasi-judicial bodies under Foreigners Tribunal's Order 1964. They exist only in Assam, have civil court powers and must dispose of cases in 60 days. Immigration and Foreigners Act 2025 now strengthens their powers. Arrest warrants, magistrate-like authority. UPSC Mains relevance. Useful for citizenship debates, federal structure and law enforcement, refugee versus illegal immigrant distinction. Meerut Bugle gets GI tag. Why in news? Meerut's handcrafted brass bugle has been granted a GI tag. Why UPSC cares? Prelims repeatedly asks GI tags, especially newly added ones. Exam. Use GI tag significance in cultural preservation. India's intangible cultural heritage. Traditional military culture elements. Points to remember. Bugle making in Meerut dates to late 19th century. Entirely handcrafted, cut, hammered, shaped manually. Types: copper, gold finish, silver finish. Is federalism in retreat under single-party hegemony? Why in news? GST adoption, litigation over fiscal transfers, and increased centralization has raised questions about erosion of federal autonomy. Why this matters for UPSC? One of the most important mains topics appears in GS2, Federalism, GS3, Fiscal Federalism, Essay Ethics, Cooperative Federalism Values. Key themes: GST weakened state tax autonomy, delay in compensation, trust deficit, redistributive formulas disadvantage high-growth southern states, decline of coalition politics reduced regional bargaining power, central schemes increasing executive federalism. PYQ relevance matches UPSC 2024 mains topics on center-state relations and rebuilding trust. Hidden cost of polluted groundwater. Why in news? 20% groundwater samples across 440 districts exceed contamination limits. UPSC relevance? Cross-cutting topic. GS1, water resources. GS2, health and inequality. GS3, environment, agriculture, economy. Key facts. Punjab worst affected. Arsenic, uranium, nitrate. Contamination reduces human productivity. Huge economic loss. Environmental degradation cost. $80 billion per year. 6% of GDP. Use in mains. Answers. Talk about inequality, agricultural crisis, public health burden, water governance reforms.